It all started on a quiet Sunday morning at my lakeside cabin. Coffee in one hand, fishing rod in the other, the world at peace. The sun was barely up, and the mist floated over the lake like something out of a painting. Then I heard it, the unmistakable sound of tires crunching gravel followed by the high-pitched bark of a voice that could only belong to one person. Karen. I sighed. Not again. Sure enough, there she was, HOA clipboard in one hand, phone in the other, standing by the gate like she owned the place. "Excuse me," she yelled, in that tone reserved for customer service lines and managers. "You're trespassing on community property." I blinked. "Community what now?" "This cabin," she snapped. "And the lake. This is HOA land. You need to vacate immediately before I call the sheriff." I set my coffee down slowly. "Karen, I built this cabin with my own hands 30 years ago. I own this lake." She laughed. That mocking, nasal laugh that could peel paint off a barn. "Oh, please. I have documents from the HOA's property committee stating that the lake and all adjacent structures belong to the association now." I stared at her, deadpan. "You mean the committee that formed last month?" She nodded proudly. "Yes, we voted unanimously to annex this land." I couldn't help but laugh. "You can't just vote to steal private property." Her smile faltered. "You'll be sorry," she hissed, whipping out her phone. 10 minutes later, 2 patrol cars rolled up. The deputies stepped out. Same guys who'd been to my barbecue party when Karen called 911 over smoke violations. "Morning, Judge," one of them said with a grin. "What's going on this time?" Karen jumped in before I could answer. "This man is squatting on HOA property. He's illegally occupying this cabin and taking over our community lake." The deputy's smile faded slightly as he looked at me. "Judge, do you have ownership documents?" I nodded and walked inside, coming back with a fat folder of deeds, water rights certificates, and a signed federal land patent. I laid it on the hood of his cruiser. Karen smirked. "Fake paperwork doesn't scare me. I've seen enough courtroom dramas to know how this goes." The deputy flipped through the documents, whistled, and looked at her. "Ma'am, this land isn't just his. This whole lake, including the water rights, is registered under the State of Texas Conservation Authority. He leases it to them." Karen's jaw dropped. "That can't be right. The HOA zoning committee." He cut her off. "Ma'am, you can't zone what you don't own. And you sure can't evict a man from land he literally provides to the government." She turned red. "This is outrageous. I'll take this to court." The deputy chuckled. "Good luck with that, seeing as the man you're threatening is the presiding federal judge for this district." Karen froze. The silence was so thick you could have sliced it with a spade. I leaned against the porch rail. "Karen, I'll make you a deal. You stay off my land, stop harassing me, and I won't press charges for attempted property fraud." Her voice cracked. "Property fraud?" "Yup," I said. "Filing false ownership claims, submitting fake annexation papers, and interfering with water rights. That's 3 felonies. The deputy added, "You're lucky he's feeling generous. Otherwise, we'd be hauling you in right now." Karen's clipboard shook in her hands. I'll withdraw the claim." "Good choice," I said, picking my coffee back up. "Oh, and Karen?" She paused halfway to her car. "Next time you want to annex something," I said, "start with a bake sale. It's less criminal." The deputies laughed all the way down the road. A week later, I got an official notice from the county clerk. The HOA's attempt to claim ownership of private federal lease land has been invalidated. Further legal action pending. Turns out, Karen's little annexation plan backfired so hard. She was personally fined $25,000 for filing false property deeds. The HOA had to issue a public apology on their own website, clarifying that they had no authority over my cabin, lake, or land. I framed that apology right next to the cabin door. And every morning since, I've gone down to the dock with a cup of coffee, watching the sun rise over my lake. Peaceful, quiet, and blissfully Karen-free.